Hello, my alloys out there. I'm Fixing Alloy 1 here. Welcome to our movie review of Stephen King's It, the remake. Not the original. Everyone's seen the original. Before we get started, though, I do want to take a second. Rest in peace, Hugh Hefner. Just woke up, just found out about it. He helped me through some tough times when I was a kid. When things got hard. Hugh Hefner was there with his magazines. We're not going to get any more details than that, but iconic man, changed a lot of things in the world. But on to our movie review. Now, first things first, let me just say I'm one of those people, if it's a remake, I'll watch it just because I want to see if they were able to take a classic and update it and make it just as lovable as a classic, but as a modern horror remake or a modern fantasy remake, whatever kind of remake it is. 99% of the time, it's a fail. Okay, like Flatliner that's coming up, that's going to fail. It's not going to be as good as the original. In fact, I didn't really like the original, so I think that's one of the reasons I think it's going to fail. There's plenty of other examples that see the King Kong reboots never seem to do as good. The Godzilla remakes, every time they remake Godzilla, it does worse and worse in box offices. Don't get me wrong, you guys know I love most movies that people don't like. I like the Godzilla remake. I still haven't watched the new King Kong, but I'm sure I'll like it. But, with that being said, it shows that a studio, a director, anybody can take a movie, remake it, stick with original source material that the remake strayed away from, and make an iconic movie, probably the best movie we'll have this summer. Well, summer's over. Movie of this year? I'd have to say it's one of the best movies this year. In fact, it's now one of my favorite Stephen King movies. And Stephen King's one of my favorite authors, so that's saying something. I mean, when you watch a movie based on a book, you know you're not going to get the whole book in there, especially if it's a Stephen King book, because if anyone's read it, there are some very graphic scenes in the book, including child sex. So you can't put that kind of shit in a movie. It's illegal, obviously. So you can't have a true 100% adaptation. And not to mention, when you talk about these big movies, these big books and stuff, you're talking about a book that's over 1,000 pages long. That's a lot to put in a whole movie. Even if it's two movies, like they're doing with It, even if it's split into two movies, it's still a lot of material to cram into 4 hours. You can't read a book that's over 1,000 pages in 4 hours. So to get the movie to incorporate what the book counts on, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is a good point. Now, like I said, you're not going to get everything, but the fact that there were so many references and Easter eggs and little hidden nods to the book for the fans of the book that made me happy. Like, there was one scene, the first scene where you see Ben when he's sneaking out of school to go get away from Harry Bauer and his gang. He's carrying a model of the standpipe. And that's in the book. That is where a child died. I believe his name was. No, it's not Eddie Cochran. Was it Eddie Cochran? It might have been Eddie Cochran who died at the sandpipe. He was killed by a creature who first it showed up as his little brother, then it showed up as the creature from Black Lagoon and killed him. All they found was his hand, and it was gnawed on. It's also Stan went there after they originally defeated it as children. Stan went there and encountered it again, but was so terrified of it, and he almost died. Now he wouldn't tell them about it because he was terrified. I remember, I don't want to do too many spoilers for the next movie, but Stan was very. You can even tell in this movie, Stan was very emotionally distraught about it. He didn't want to believe in it from the get-go, and when he was finally forced to believe that it was real, he felt that he was abandoned and left to die. It really gets to your head. And you have to imagine fighting a terrible, demonic, scary clown that could turn into your worst fears would fuck with your head, especially if you did it as a child. Now, let's get around to the clown, Bill Skarsgård. I myself am not scared of clowns at all. I don't see why people are. I can't see why people are, but at the same time, I'm not scared of clowns. Bill Skarsgård, though, gave everyone out there who's afraid of clowns justification and reason for it. Even when he's just trying to use his clown persona to sway kids to talk to him. You could tell there was a sinister undertone. Like in the beginning scene when he's talking to Georgie in the sewers, and he's talking about the circus getting blown into the sewers, and you can smell the cotton candy, and he asks him what's he talk about. Their favorites are popcorn, and they're pop, 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 and then he just stops in the middle and starts to growl. You can tell that he doesn't like being friendly and nice to these kids, that it just strains him to do it, and that he wants them to be scared instead of happy. Like the happiness emotion bothers him. Because remember that Pennywise feeds on fear. Not just flesh, fear. Fear is like salting the meat to him, which ends up becoming his greatest weapon. Now, I'm hoping they'll touch up on it in the second movie. If they do, this is extremely spoiler alert. But in the book, it explains that the reason they were able to defeat him as children is they used their fears against him. I remember in the original movie they used silver. They used silver in the book too. And because their beliefs were so strong that the monsters they were fighting could be killed by silver, it actually injured Pennywise. So that's one of his weaknesses that he's developed, that he has, that he didn't realize he has, because he uses his fears against the other people. He didn't realize that their emotions could trigger him, their happiness and their strength and their inability to fear him and their ability to use their fears against him was his downside. That's what got him. He's never had anyone fight back against him before, and that's when when Pennywise himself realizes that he does have a weakness. Just because he's never seen it before, he does, and now he has no way to counteract it. He doesn't know what to do. It throws him in a loop, which is why he left early. And that's another point that's made in the book. He wasn't done with his feeding cycle when they defeated him. Because the way the feeding cycle starts, there's a big disastrous event, a bunch of people go missing or get killed, big disastrous event, nothing for 27 years. In the movies, now it's not touched upon in both movies, but it is touched upon in the book. The flood, the storm that Georgie dies in, was a catastrophic flood. You'll notice that there was water in their basement, the streets were blocked off, catastrophic flood. That's Pennywise waking up. This evil is so powerful that it causes disasters just for him to wake up. I really want to see them play now. Like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but this would be a spoiler. I really want to see them play into the second book when they actually do defeat Pennywise, just how much this evil enwraps the town. If they can incorporate that, I'd be happy. Now, as for the CGI, it was pretty spot on. I mean, you could tell they had to use CGI for a lot of stuff. And when they had to use CGI, they did a really good job of blending it in and making it look like an actual monster coming out of the sewers and biting your arm off, or, you know, an actual leopard. I mean, lepers don't look like that now, and I doubt they ever look that bad, but just the fact that the leper was so infected that you could see the pus spudules like rising out of his face, it was clearly disgusting, disturbing, and horrifying. I've already watched it a few times. I'm sure I'm going to watch it again. My wife watched it again with my girlfriend, at least. But I have to say, if you're looking for a good horror movie, if you're looking for a good Stephen King movie, or if you're looking just to see Hollywood finally do a remake right, it is the movie you want to see. Plenty of nods in there for people who've read the books. The standpipe. They had the Paul Bunyan statue in there. That was a big part of the book. That was one of Richie's fears, that Paul Bunyan statue. There was another one when I seen it, it like stood out to me. But I can't recall it now off the top of my head. But there you go, guys. If I had to give this movie a score, it would definitely easily be a 10 out of 10. It's worth your money. Go watch it in theaters. Go download it off the internet. I didn't tell you to do that. Shh. It's illegal. And when it comes out on Blu-ray, buy it with all the extra features. We already have a release date for the second episode. It's going to be 2019, so we got 2 more years before it comes back. But once again, guys, it's 10 out of 10. Go watch it. Definitely worth it. Don't watch it in the dark. Of course, if you watch it in theaters, you have no choice but to watch it in the dark, do you? Folks, it sucks to be you. This is Fixing Alloy 1. I will see you guys next time.